Thank you. What's up, you guys? It is Sexy Saturday. Hey. So, I'm Lady Di. If you don't know me, I'm Lady Di. This is Dating to Marriage Support, where I support women and men from dating to marriage. It is a transition and it's not an easy one, but it's worth it if you are ready to settle down. But, most importantly, the topic of sex is very important into those things. So you don't want to neglect that. So I have to dedicate the topic of sex. I have to, because it's very important. And if you don't think it's important, we're going to show you today why it's important. Shout out to everyone who has been supporting me. I really appreciate it. What's up? Hi. Hello, dear Black wife. Nice new face. How are you? Good evening. This is going to be a good one. Yes, it is. I'm glad you are here. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Also, if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. Yes, like it before I even start. Why not? All right. So I have a special guest. And the reason why she is special is because she has been going viral on TikTok, right? And it's not because she has nonsense of video, because there are people who go viral for like the silliest things. But her videos are like so interesting. And it's about sex, of course, because that's the topic today. But it's so interesting that I had to bring her on the panel because why not? We're here to learn. So let me add her to the stream and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for being here, for real.
Thank you for inviting me, girl. I appreciate it. I am forever grateful. Trust me.
Yes, yes, we're here to support and promote everybody regardless. So, can you just tell the audience first, I guess start with your name and what do you do exactly?
My name is Taki. As you can see, Taki Adetutu Daniels, but Taki Daniels. I am a lymphatic drainage therapist. I specialize in medical aesthetics, but I'm also a sex educator and just giving out sex information, sex awareness to other people, just to get people understanding sex in all aspects, not just one type of sex, because people just think of sex and they think of just intercourse when sex is actually a lot deeper than what people think it is. So,
Hmm.
I really try to get people to understand out of the box thinking and understand how they feel, not just with intercourse, but mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's really a big thing when we talk about sex. Sex is a huge transfer of energy. So I really try to get people to understand the level of that.
Mhm.
I specialize and I am a tantric healer, so I do teach tantra. I will actually be in starting tantra classes by next year.
Mm.
I've had to get everything as far as curriculum together, but that's really what the main thing is, because in America we don't really speak on tantra as
Yeah.
much as other countries do. So
Yeah, that's true. I was saying before that, and I think my last sex stream, I brought up Tantra, but I was trying to explain to the people what it was. See, I've never actually done it. I've just heard of it, and I thought it was something good to kind of like, bring into the bedroom. But, I'm glad that you know. So now the people, including myself, that wasn't too familiar because one of my guests had brought it up. Now we get to fully get deep into it, especially since you're going to be teaching that soon. So with me, I eventually am going to start doing workshops and sex
yeah,
is going to be part of it. And I would definitely tag you along so we could, do it together and
yeah.
teach people. But right now we online, you feel me? So we're going to get it popping. But I want to show a video, you guys, just to start off this stream.
What do you think of sexual incompatibility in marriage?
I think sexual incompatibility is brought about if your sexual needs don't mesh with your partner's.
Absolutely. Everyone has a different understanding of what counts as sex.
That's true. Things like duration, how often you do it, and specific sex preferences matter.
To think of it, I feel like I'm very incompatible with my partner.
Have you tried communicating about it?
Not yet. I don't know how to initiate a conversation about it.
I think communicating about it will help you figure things out.
I'm just worried that our problem may escalate into a sexless marriage if we don't figure things out.
So that's just to give a rundown on why I even started this stream today, because a lot of people are like kind of in sexless marriages and in their relationship. I mean, it's not happening, So it's kind of like, why is it not happening? I feel that when she mentioned the duration of sex, like sex is not even lasting long. So even if you're doing it, it's like 15 minutes or, whatever. Wait, Taki, what is short? Because 15 minutes might be short to me, but 5 minutes might be, what I'm saying? What do you think? Since you're a sex educator, what is short?
Some people like quickies. That might be their thing.
Yeah.
Some women don't like long drawn out sex. Some men don't like long drawn out sex. So it just really depends on you. Particularly me, I am not with the 5 minutes. It needs to go a little further than that, but that's not for everyone. So it
Right.
really depends, because you could get some really, really good sex in about 5 minutes, depending on who your partner is.
Mhm.
So it just depends on you. So I don't really
Mhm.
think, a lot of the times it could be duration, but like as in the video, it's really about communication. If
Mhm.
you do not communicate with your partner, I know that that's a lot of the times as we get with partners, especially if we're with them for long term, we kind of get comfortable. We kind of get used to, hey, we have kids, we have this going on, we have business going on, we have, our lives individually, and then we have our lives together. And then sometimes we come in the bedroom, it's that lazy type of sex. Or, we might just bend over a little bit, let them hit it from the back a little bit type thing. But,
Right.
it doesn't really communicate when, when the kids are gone and everything is calm. What
Mm.
do we really need from our partner? So
Yeah.
communication is very important. So even if it hurts the partner's feelings, vice versa, you have to let them know, hey, we've been together for a minute, we've been doing this for a little while. Let's, move into a new territory and see if your partner is open to that. Because if you don't, you'll be in a sexless marriage, which is going to end up in divorce, because sex is very important to a lot of people.
You see her going, she going off, y'all. She going off. You hear this? Listen, there's men who what is it? You said something. There's men who, they're not, that's not what I was gonna say. See, I lost my train of thought. But this is what I was gonna say. So the duration part, right? I think from what I understand, it could be also like what the partners are not satisfied. So you have like vaginal dryness, right? That's gonna make it go real short, and then that's discomfort for the other partner. So I think that too could help. I mean, could be something that would make it stop. Also, I think that not being flexible. So you know how a man or a woman will like, oh, I want to do this position. And then the man or woman is like, nah, I don't want to do that, or they're not comfortable. So that's not pleasing. That's not satisfying to somebody. So then they're like, all right, we're gonna cut this short, or maybe it's painful from certain positions. And then also like being healthy, right? So I mentioned vaginal dryness, being healthy and, staying hydrated, eating the right foods, can eliminate some of these things. And that can help prolong the life of the sex, including the man also being hydrated and exercising, because sometimes men are not able to stay up as long. Now, I don't know if that's part of an age situation or is health situation. So what are your expertise on this?
It could actually be a little bit of both. As we age, women who get, when we go through menopause, you have more of the vaginal dryness and things like that, because of the hot flashes and just going through the hormones. It could be up and down, and that's very natural. But what a lot of people don't understand is women's libidos get higher as they get older.
Mhm.
So I know that people see like a lot of older women, they might, be more attracted to younger men because they can kind of keep up. Not saying that the older men can't, but you have men get older and their libido kind of, goes down a little bit. So you
Okay.
have like erectile dysfunction, and all of these things can actually be fixed, like what you said, with good diet and some like things like that. But it also can just come from, overuse of, masturbation. That's where
Mhm.
erectile dysfunction is, where you kind of what we call, get, I believe I spoke on this and I want to say it's anagoric. I cannot think of the word right at this moment. I would have to look it up, but it's edging is what takes a lot of pressure off or pressure on sex, because edging, you're trying to build yourself up to actually make your member more stronger, blood circulation, and to actually have sex longer. But sometimes we get more comfortable with masturbation and we're used to that rhythmic, flow, and we don't get that same thing when we have sex. So it
Mhm.
can go both ways, because you have a lot of older men who do have like high libidos, because they take care of themselves, they diet, they exercise, they go to the gym, and they work on those things. So it necessarily just depends. But more men, as they get older, it doesn't work as much as
Okay.
women.
Okay. So you mentioned a few things, but as far as the overuse of masturbation, I've never heard of that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that kind of goes into one of my comments. Misery Loves Company says, how many times how many times a week is good? So overuse of masturbation, overuse of what, sex? Is that the same thing?
No.
Okay.
Now, it's if you having sex with your partner, you have more of a connection. With masturbation, you're more just trying to either get something off, or you're trying to just, get yourself in a place of trying to connect with yourself. But more of the times, if you have a connection with somebody else, you most of the time, if y'all, not unless y'all are jackrabbing it all the time, it's more better to have a connection with that other person, because that's why the reason of the soul connection when we have sex. How
Yeah.
many times a week is good? That's really depends on you. My brother, we had this conversation and he said if he has sex morning and night, he's good. Some people needed to start the day and end the night, and that actually is a good idea, because morning sex is great. I said this on my TikTok, and I also said, had to put in there that having sex before bed is actually relieving as well. So it just depends on you. A lot of us don't have time to have sex during the day, but hey, I recommend quickies. Trust me, because
Right.
you need to connect with your partner. You need to be able to touch your partner. Touch is very important. Even if y'all just touch each other on the shoulder or anything like that, or hug each other, all of these things connect and make you want to actually be with your partner more.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, sometimes we don't have enough time because we're so busy. But quickies are like, okay, at least you did something. Something was released instead of keeping it.
Right.
So that's the point. I definitely get it. But I'm still stuck on overuse of masturbation. So a man that, let's say, he's sex deprived, or he doesn't have a woman to sit here and like have that intimate connection, what would you suggest for somebody like that?
For those are most of the people, if you probably used to having just time with yourself.
Mhm.
Semen retention is good. Withholding from masturbation is a great idea, and so that way you can connect with your partner, get in tune with your partner's body, then your partner can get in tune with your body, and you'll be able to get that rhythmic connection back, because
Okay,
there's a lot of men who actually overdo it, and women too, because we could overuse vibrators and things like that and get so used to how we release or how we orgasm from that particular tool or thing. We don't get used to that connection because we're not used to it. So
yeah.
I actually, that's going to be a podcast episode this year for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna bring up it brought me to think of sex toys. Like when women do that arithmetic connection, it's like, it's not the same as, a man, but women are doing it in between their man. So that's why we're here today to talk about how can we solve that? Because ain't nobody trying to do that in between you and your partner. That's why you have a partner to do it with.
Not
Oh,
necessarily. No,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
You are a woman, and like I tell my husband, you have a, not to be vulgar, you have a dick. You get what I'm saying? You don't have a vagina. We as a vagina can come many ways, different ways on the vagina, wherever we like. So our release is different. Yes, you can do that in between your, it doesn't make you not have, more less pleasure from your partner. It's about you as a woman kind of connecting with your divine feminine and things like that, because we need more of a release than they do, as far as, because emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, we take on a lot of things that men do not. So we have to release that sometimes in between, and sometimes it doesn't have to be about a partner. Not saying that men can't do the same thing, but with women it's very okay. I recommend it. I actually encourage it
Okay.
to use your vibrators, use your toys. I'm actually getting into sex toys. I was thinking about selling some and promoting those, because it's not just about, it can help couples as well,
Okay.
depending on what you're into. So I definitely agree. Even if you want to bring them into the bedroom, anything is great to spice it up. Even if you don't use it all the time, it could be one of those, hey, it's around that time, girl, let's pull this kink stuff out, or let's pull the whip out, let's pull the swing out. I'm with all of that, but that's
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I see. I think I know what you're saying, because I'm thinking more like dildo type. Okay, that's different from a sex toy. So like the vibrator things, looks like a finger or stuff like that. You mentioned the swing. Okay, those, okay, yes, I agree, like what you said exactly. Those are fine. But I meant to actually clarify women who use like the, dildo vibrators as a replacement of a male, eggplant. So
Yeah.
does that kind of like make her not want to be with her man because she's using this fake eggplant versus a real one?
It could, but it depends on the person.
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of women be taken away from men unless they are more involved with a female partner, or a partner that could, that uses toys on them in that
Yeah.
way. But
Right.
sometimes women, sometimes we, to be honest, as women, we just don't want to deal with the whole hoopla of men and their whole energy. And it's just easier to deal with yourself and come and go to sleep, go to work, no interruptions, no problems. So yeah, it could be more of that than actual sexual, because it just could be the energy of everything else. Like you just don't want to take on everything else.
That's funny. I'm sorry. You're like, listen, we ain't trying to deal with that men and that masculine energy. We trying to be, subtle and get away from me.
Right.
All right, that's cool. So I wanted to talk about. Oh, let me share this poll real quick. Thanks you guys for being in the chat, and thanks you guys for the new people that are coming in. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Now, I wanted to share a poll that I put on before I went live. I wanted people to vote. So here it is. So, are you pleased in the bedroom? Rated out of 1 to 10. So, surprisingly, this is not bad.
Yeah.
So that's good. The highest is 6. 6 is not bad. That's like an average, honestly, Taki, what do you think? So I think 6 is okay, but it's not the best. It's just average. But we deserve to have like the best, right?
I
So do
mean,
you
you're
think
not going to get that
that?
because, to be honest, most of Americans are actually not having sex as much like you think they are.
Okay.
Sex has gone down 9 times fewer in the last years, to be honest. So people aren't having sex as much, actually, and especially, and it's leaving a lot of Americans dissatisfied in their relationships. I actually did, I think I want to say a fact on TikTok about this as well, because it's just, and on my podcast, because it's just not the thing anymore. A lot of people probably, as far as sex, it's already been taboo in America, but it's becoming more taboo because think about it, when we went to school, we went to school and we saw kind of people getting pregnant, things like that. And now I think it's just the generation behind us is like, we see my mom get pregnant, my sisters, my cousins, my brothers, and they're like, sex, forget it. I just rather deal, with something else, because it's more of the pregnancy scare factor. It's more of the disconnection just, and, with people in general, because a lot of that stuff is happening behind the computer. So, it brings a big disconnect on human connection and understanding how we can bring tantra, how we can bring, intimacy into our relationships. Because a lot of it is just being destroyed by internet connection. So I think a lot of people have been so, equipped with technology, they just don't feel, like I said, dealing with the human connection, which is really unfortunate because it's something that's needed,
Yeah.
especially sexually, because we're
Yeah.
getting into a sex tech world. So if we don't get the, you know, procreating and things like that, that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have sex behind the computer. Me and you gonna be doing just like this.
Right.
If so
That's what they trying to promote. Everything is so online, which online is not bad because at least we're able to do this. Like we learn online, so it's like a great platform. But then it's like you don't want to use it all the time to do every single thing. So things should be a human connection for sure. But let me get into some of the comments. Let's see. Hi, Dolly. Thanks for being here. Millions of sperm per release. Sperm retention is possible.
Yes, I actually had a few men hit me up about that. It's very possible. It may be a little harder for, to actually start because you want to release. But if you hold on to it, it actually builds up for a stronger orgasm. It helps with blood flow. It does a lot for you when you actually want to perform. So yes, it's very possible. It's very hard. I'm not saying it won't be, hard, but try to do it as much as possible because you will actually get better sex that way. I wouldn't say make it a whole habit because you don't want to get into the habit, but you want to make it into a healthy practice so you can have better performance.
So when you say healthy habit, what would that be? Like hold not doing it for a day or the
I mean, if
sperm?
you're the type of person who masturbates quite often, then I would hold off and make that a kind of a healthy habit in that way. Now, if you're
Okay.
not, and you're just one of those people who's kind of like, been masturbating for a little bit, a while, you haven't been performing with a partner, you hold off. If you need to release in between, just because some people need to release,
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, but it's better to hold off because of the blood circulation and the fact that you will make sex last longer. It will be
Yeah.
healthier in that way to, have do semen retention.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
depends on
Wow.
you, how much you have sex, how much you don't have sex, how much you masturbate. Just because men to me masturbate a lot often, more often than men. I mean women, but I'm coming into a lot of women that
Mm.
masturbate very often as well. So it just depends on you,
Wow.
and how or if you're not with a partner, it might be a little harder because you want to release. But if you have a
Okay.
steady
Right.
person
Right.
that maybe you're interested in, and you
Mhm.
also are getting ready to perform with them, y'all haven't had sex, but you anticipate on having sex with them, and you wanted to make sure that pleasure lasts longer, that is healthier.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that
You'll
makes a lot
get
of sense.
you'll get a stronger member from that.
Okay, you guys, I hope y'all taking notes. I see somebody in the chat is taking notes. I literally have no questions because Taki is making me take notes. Y'all better be taking notes. All right. She's spitting game. All right. This is endless right now. I don't know where you're going to get this at. So please share the video, bring more people to this live. We're trying to get into it. We just getting started. We got more to come. But like I said, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Yes, please do that. You don't want to miss no more lives. And please hit that like button if you haven't already, because this video deserves some likes. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, so Dolly says, love the great information tonight. Thanks, ladies. You are so welcome. You are so welcome.
You're welcome, definitely.
So girl. So we were talking about this. I want to get into some of this stuff, but I want to pause for a second. Miss Taki here is married, you guys. So she's a married woman like myself that's spitting some game. So we really spitting out knowledge and giving you more insight of what it looks like to be in a marriage. And this is the stuff that we're doing. I'm learning from her as well. I do have things that I, do in my bedroom, but as a married woman, you always want to introduce new things. You don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over. You want to make it exciting. So if you're not researching, then you're not doing a good job. All right. You're not doing a good job. You're doing a good job, but you're not doing a good job. You want to make sure that it's more than spicy, because there's information out there that we don't know. And if you're not inquiring about it, then what are we doing? So that's why I have Taki on here, and she is married. Okay. So I want to play a clip. Now, this is like a topic that's trending right now, I believe. So let's get into it.
Guys feel
Well,
better.
no, I'm dead serious.
What can you do with it?
There's nothing you can do.
Well, maybe I don't know. I mean, if you know how to, if I'm happy,
Okay.
you know what I'm
If
saying,
he
and
can
you
still
know how
please
to,
you.
if you know how to make it do what it's supposed
But
to
it's
do,
still disappointing when you're like,
yeah, you don't want to have to,
What is that? Did you just pick up a roach? What was that? What was that? What was that?
because
A little
there's certain
spliff?
things you can't even say in the bedroom. You know what I mean?
right?
Like,
Absolutely.
you can't say certain things. Like, you know how you want to talk. I know Ashanti talks dirty in the bedroom. I can tell.
Oh my gosh!
But there's
what
just
makes
certain-
you say that?
I can tell. But there's certain things you can't say because then you're
Let the ladies talk.
lying. You know?
Very true. Very true. But guys do all the time. They be lying just to get in and do,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Guys
we
do
just
it.
lie back.
Lie back.
Like, it's the best. Yes.
And
it's
get
the
it.
best.
I mean, that's just a little fun entertainment. But the question is, what it says, is little penis a deal breaker? So what do you think? Well, let me answer first, right? This is my show. Let me answer first. I think that it depends, like kind of what she said. It depends on the man, because even if you have a decent size, and that's up to you, whoever you are, whatever your decent size is. If you have a decent size, just because it's let's say smaller than that, does not mean that it won't feel good, because it depends on the man. If you have a bigger size, some men still can't please anyone with something big. It doesn't really matter. It really just depends on that man. So Taki, what are your expertises on that?
Let me tell you. Um, Look, I've had, and before I was married and things in my old life,
Mhm.
had a smaller man, and he worked it. He worked it out. But I
Mhm.
also am a firm believer, I'm not with that motion in the ocean, statement, because you can't have no little raft in a big ass ocean. Excuse my language. It's just
Ooh.
gonna work out. So, it just, like you said, it depends on the person. Like
Yeah.
some women might like smaller because it just, like I said, the vagina is a very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very powerful tool. So if we can get pleasure any part of the vagina. So if it could be a smaller penis might work for someone else. Most
Mm.
people I know, like I said on my podcast, it's more about width than length. So if you got a good size that's, doing what it needs to do as far as width, length really may not matter for some people. So it just depends. You do have some guys who've had, are well endowed and they don't do nothing with it because they think that they're so endowed that it's just going to do something on its own, like it's going to please you. So it just
Yeah.
depends. But for me, you can't have a little raft in a big ocean. That's just it.
Okay, yeah. I like that analogy, little rafts in a big ocean, because if you just think about it, it doesn't fit, you guys. It
Right.
doesn't fit. So I like that you brought out the width part. So there's sizes, we're just gonna speak on like the sex toys, like you got the different sizes of sex toy, like the dildos. So you have like the smaller, skinny ones, they call those the pencil, size, and then you have them ranging from there. So width, I think, matters. I do believe that's a big difference of a width versus the length. Because it's more close, right, to the walls, right? Yeah. So now I had a question. So you know how they say some women have a longer canal and then a shorter canal? Does that matter, like on how the woman is pleased with having a longer canal versus a shorter one? You know what I mean?
Now, I did say on one of my podcast episodes, I was talking about that. And as far as it just really depends on anatomically how you are built. And when I was
Mhm.
talking about the G spot as well, like people don't understand the G spot doesn't exist. There's no actual way you can go in and be like, oh, you can hit the G spot like this if you do. No, it's anatomically goes according to the woman. So if
Oh,
you have yeah, people don't know that, but
okay.
it's really, that's how it is. And you also have an A spot. I'm not going to talk too much about that right now because I'm going
Okay,
to save
okay.
that for a video. But
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot to be explored when you come to sex. People think sex is a deep, deep, deep thing. It's even
Yeah.
when we're talking about, our private parts meeting is something. There's a meaning to the vagina. There's a meaning to the penis. There's a meaning to all of it and why the powers come together. If people understood that, but you have to be with a person that connects on that level with you to be able to transfer this energy positively. Because we can have sex with anyone, but
Mm,
connecting with a person on a sexual level that you're willing to transfer your whole energy to, where you are, because you are tied together, whoever you have sex with,
mm.
it's going to take time to, relieve that energy. So it just depends.
Wow, I like how you mentioned something about connecting with someone. And you can have sex with anybody. Obviously, people doing that today. Ain't no
Yeah.
connection. It's just releasing things, right? So to get into deeper connection with someone will make the sex better.
It should. If it doesn't, then you don't need to be really having sex with them. Personally, it's
Yeah.
it's about intimacy. I changed my podcast episode for next week because I wanted to talk about intimacy. Into you I see, into me you see. I
Okay.
changed it because I actually wanted to talk about the power of the phallus, like the actual penis, because
Yeah.
there's actual power in that. No matter how, as women, we actually run things, but to give them their credit, I
Ah,
wanted to talk about it. But intimacy is a huge, huge thing on connection. If you're
okay.
not intimate with your partner, you don't have anything. Saying intimacy is, looking, touching, cuddling, kissing, and it can even be sex. It's how you connect with your partner. But if you don't have intimacy, to me, the sex is just sex. You're just getting your nut. He's getting his nut. You're getting your nut, and it's y'all going about your day.
Yeah,
So that
that's
doesn't
true.
really help anyone. Yeah.
That does make a big difference. I agree on that. Let's get into some of the comments. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, follow me and get the likes up. Thank you. Let's see. Remember, put up here. Here we go. Depends on the woman too. What would you recommend for a woman who hasn't been penetrated yet?
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
baby. My recommendation, and this is what I tell all women: get you a vibrator. You will not have nobody know how to please you until you please you first. It's
Mm.
that simple. You
Ooh.
have to know you and how you do things. I think it's really interesting how a lot of women don't want to get sex toys because we rely on another person to bring us to that orgasm. No. We need to be able to do that on our own. And it's nothing against you because I said this, it's like having a car, but you want everybody to chauffeur you everywhere. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to be like, okay, I'm in alignment with yourself. It's tantric masturbation. Please, and I hope to say that, but please listen to Tantra with Tutu podcast because this tells a lot of things about what you're asking and questions sexually. I'm on my season 2, episode 1 right now, but these are a lot of questions from season 1. And if you don't know you can't rely on anyone else to get you there. You
Okay.
have to know what you like. You have to know how you want to feel. Even if you have to, what I'm saying, to be honest, there's so many ways to get on these toys right now. If you got to practice riding that thing and getting on how you
What?
do it, you got to do it, baby. You
Okay.
can't waste no time. Seriously, because we as women a lot of times rely, or even people rely on the other person to give us, but really we're looking just for connection. It's really not about sex. You're really looking for a connection because, like I said, you can have sex with anyone. But
Okay.
you're really looking for a connection. So sex just happens to be the next step in which you want to be that connection to be. But really, when we're just, we might like a person, so we have sex with them.
Okay.
We connected to them doesn't necessarily mean they're connected to us. So you have to be connected with self at all times, because if you don't know what you want, no one else will know how to please you.
That's very interesting that you said that. As a woman, pleasing yourself first. That's kind of like men did that. I mean, even though it's a whole nother situation, but men been doing that. They always had their hand first before they even did. Well, most men, right? Majority of men had that hand first from when they were little up until they found that, that woman, and then they did their thing. So the fact that you're saying that women should do the same thing, that's interesting. And it makes a lot of sense how you broke that down. So you ladies, y'all better be taking notes. Y'all better be doing it yourself first and seeing
I do want to say one thing, and not to offend anyone, but the next thing is what's interesting is what I said on my podcast is we have teenagers and women like we have men that get wet dreams at an early age, and they're just kind of allowed to masturbate and be in a room and do what they got to do. Women or females are not taught that. When really we have a lot of things to release. I'm not saying that it's right, but if we teach women that they can be, or young girls, to be intimate with themselves and not a way to be sexual or in a release way, because there you have urges. There's we can go back to just being teenagers and saying, oh, we feel this way, but we as women feel like we have to go elsewhere, but men can just go in their pants and do whatever it needs to be done. But we haven't never been able to be connected in that way. So I really encourage it, because the first vibrator I ever got was I was 18, and it was because my older homegirl showed it to me. If I wasn't introduced, I wouldn't really know. The reason I even do this is because I had a lot of sexual experiences at an early age, so I'm able to kind of give this knowledge that I've applied it. So I just want to be able to tell people, please women, please yourself first, because men always have done it first.
Yes, they have always done it first, and they're gonna get theirs. So make sure that y'all women getting y'all's too. So that means you agree with when Jada Pinkett said her grandmother taught her, I think at 9. That was young, but hey, taught her at 9 how to please herself. You agree with that?
The reason I don't want to say I agree with it, but I understood it.
Okay.
And a lot of people, because I actually talked about it on my podcast, and people took it the wrong way, because in America it is so taboo to talk about sex. So I know that they came at her about it, but I understood it, because like I just said, boys are taught to go ahead and do whatever they want to do early, and nobody else, women aren't really taught that. So yes, I understood what she meant about the self-love part. People probably took it in the wrong context, but I understood what she meant of teaching her early about how to do that for herself, because as women, we do look outward for that. We look for the man to please us, or the woman to please whoever else to please us, when half of the time men are pleasing themselves from jump.
Yeah,
she don't
yeah.
give me any, I can just go home and do what I got to do. But women don't have that thought all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. What's up, cousin? Thanks for being here. If you're still in the building, definitely you and wifey, please watch and learn. We all can learn something new. What's up, Stefan? How are you today? But he's saying right now, why do we always want to talk about a man's penis size? Because that's the topic that women like to bring up as far as they feel like they're not being satisfied. It's just kind of a trending thing happening right now. So we have to bring it up when we're talking about sex. I also brought up, if you were here, vaginal dryness. That all goes together, meaning, okay, a smaller penis size, someone that's not as, lubricated is not a good thing. So it depends on, she was saying it depends on the man and what that man can do. It depends on the width, not just the length. So that's something to think about. All right. You got people loving you on here. Takia's on fire. Also, they dropped her link in the chat. So if you want to book her services, you're welcome. If you want to book her services, please click on that link. Please. She has a lot to offer, y'all.
Thank you.
Someone says, I agree. Masturbation can prevent premarital sex and high body count. Oh, okay. Y'all took it further.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I agree to that. 9. Damn, what were we talking about? I don't know what we were talking about. A 9. Okay, listen, I don't know what we were talking about at that moment, but I'm gonna keep it there. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more. All right, so I have another clip that I would like to play. Now, this is gonna be a little different. It is about sex, but it's about a guy who hasn't had sex. So let's look at this clip about him and a woman. This is from the Pineapple Show. If you guys ever watched that, this is her stream.
The question would have to describe in 3 words what your husband, what would those 3 words be?
You said look like?
Like as far as like what you want in a man, if you had to describe it in 3 words.
Okay. He has to know when to be vulnerable,
You guys, this guy hasn't had sex. I don't know. I said it, but I don't know if you guys heard me. He has not had sex. And this show, she brings people on to date for the first time, blind dating. So that's the context of this video.
He has to know to protect his family. And I would also like someone who is big on communication. Like if there's a problem, I want him to come to me and be like, listen, let's sit down. I don't want, the kiddie communication. I want grown adult communication. And I just want to, be able to work out things that need to be, worked on. So that's what it's all about.
You heard that? She said she needs to be worked on. I don't know what he about to do. He hasn't done nothing yet. He don't know how to work on anything. So she about to see now.
Right.
But yeah. What about you?
I plan on getting married because my parents were married for about 25 years.
Nice.
My dad, the year that my mom owed 20 years.
Wow.
As with my mom would care. I want that. I want a legacy. I want, a beautiful wife and kids in the future. I'm also a Christian too. I know I don't look like it, but
she what?
I'm also a Christian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I value waiting to have sex until marriage might be red flag.
Oh, okay. So you a virgin?
Yes, I am a virgin. But I believe.
How old are you? I'm sorry.
I'm 24.
Okay, that's good.
Waiting because it's just sex is not just a physical thing. It's a spiritual thing. I'd rather have I care for,
I respect that. I respect that. Well, I have a child.
Okay.
So yeah, how would you feel about being a stepdad?
Well, hold on. Okay, he just said he was a virgin. So obviously you have a child, so you way past that. You're like, we can't even think about it. But then you ask him how would he feel being a stepdad. He hasn't even had sex yet to even know how it feels to even release them seeds. So listen, let me see in the chat. He has a lot of discipline. That is true. That is true. Let's see what else they have to say.
It's actually new to me. I've never been in that position before, but I wouldn't be opposed. You know,
Okay.
I had blessing to be a stepdad. I'm not gonna block my blessing. I'll be stupid to do that. So, you know, I'm open for it.
Preston, Shanice, so would you be able to be in a relationship where you're waiting for marriage to have sex? No? Wait, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Said me personally, no. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me personally, no. No. I respect your beliefs, Christian, completely. But me personally, you know, I already have a son. He's 9. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
From Brooklyn. Okay.
Mhm.
How long?
Say it again.
How long have you been out there?
All my life.
All your life?
All my life, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
if you get with somebody, like, you think you're gonna like marry them right away, or like how does the process work with that?
It's gonna take a while, not really a while, but just a bit amount of time. I'd say about a year.
Okay.
I want to see how she is when she's mad, you know, how the situation, because you never know how a person is going to act unless they get mad. You know, also living situations too. You know, I want to see how we can do good financially together, how we can connect, because we're a team. You know, I don't want it to be like I'm the leader just because I'm a man and you got to sit in the background. Like, we're a team. You know, once we're unstoppable, so on the same accord, and we learn how to communicate on how unstoppable. But I want the foundation to be built on God and our communication. So I'd say a full year or two just to see how.
Sorry. All right, look, that was me, Taki, but I wanted to bring that clip up because I wanted to bring a little bit of diversity to this channel, because not everybody here has had sexual relations, and you know, we're diving right into, you know, the act. Thanks, Dolly. I see that. We're getting straight into the action and all this stuff, but for the people who have not been doing it, you know, there's other people that haven't been doing it either. This man says that he's 24 years old and he is a virgin. Later into that video, the Pineapple Show host said that she asked him, "Do you do oral sex?" And he said he has never done that either. So he's so virgin, like nothing. But at the same time, you know, his thoughts are in the right place. He's trying to find a spiritual connection. That's what Taki was talking about, being more intimate instead of just having sex like a rabbit. It's a big difference. And I think that that's really very powerful in that sense. He's ready to be married. He wants to, you know, get married and then do it. So for somebody like him, though, versus that girl, she obviously wanted to get done, right? Bent over, whatever. You could tell how she's dressing and how she was looking. Somebody like her doesn't need to be with him because she's looking for a man to satisfy her. All the things that we're talking about on the stream, he's not going to be able to do right now, right? Taki, what do you think? Honestly, because he has no experience, he's not going to be able to please her, but she knows how to be pleased.
Right. I will say, to be honest, that's a beautiful thing. Everything that he was asking for is wonderful. It was, you know, and genuinely a beautiful thing. And I'm going to keep it so 1,000 with you. Once he gets inside of some vagina, he might not have the same views. You get what I'm saying? Because to be honest, it's a difference when you have something and and for men, it's very different. And I'm just keeping it real. And for women too. we all have a thing that we want. And then it's a difference when he's never tasted, touched, put his thing in, felt nothing. It's a difference when that thing goes inside. All his morals and things will go out the window, and he might not even be a Christian anymore. And that's just the truth, because he doesn't know. It's a difference, you know, and especially with men, that's why their libido is higher when they're younger. That's their thing, is they have to get it out when they're younger. I know that's, you know, unfortunate for a lot of us who may have, you know, been in situations, you know, with baby daddies or things like that, or baby mamas, and, you know, you were in cheating situations and when you're younger, because that is just in them to release it in that way. Some of us, you know, especially his age, 24, girl, no, he's not getting married to that. There is very few and far in between. I'm not saying it can't be possible. I'm just being realistic. Like, no, you know, he probably will be hitting her up as soon as he get his taste. He will be ready to probably bend Miss Pineapple over.
Yeah,
you know, but
right.
he doesn't know the difference yet. Yeah, so you know, it's different when you get a taste of it, and don't let it be some good stuff, because he doesn't know the difference. You get what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, that's kind of the energy for me, but it's not saying it's not very possible, because for all the virgins out there, I would say look for someone who is on your level, someone you can build with, someone that is really, maybe like the lady said, low body count. Maybe let's push it like 1 or 2, you know, somebody that hasn't had a lot of experience with you, because, you know, and that's just a lot of us who have had a lot of experience, me and other people, they're not looking for virgins right away. Like, and it wasn't wrong, you know, for her to say that, you know, it is what it is. Like, you're cute, you're beautiful, you have all the greatest aspirations, but sex is, you know, I need someone who's going to, you know, bend it over, smack it down, rub it up, you know, all of that.
Right.
And you just can't give that right now. Yeah. So you know, I think it's not a bad thing. It's just, find someone who's more on your level.
Yeah, that's true, because you know, you could teach each other, because she's just too experienced for him. And then she has a kid, so she way past that. So she's like, man, I already pushed out a baby. I don't need to be playing around. So I get that. And she has every right. Shout out to the Pineapple Show for that that clip. Let's see. So Minnie called a few chosen, says not all of his morals go out the door when he gets some. He gotta find a like-minded woman, and they can explore each other and grow at a mutual rate. Yep, that's exactly what Taki just said. You guys are on the same eye level with that. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I threw that in there for the ones who haven't. And oh, we already asked that question. Someone asked, well, how would you suggest, you know, someone that has no experience starting off? But you already said try sex toys and all of those cool things. So I want to get into the topic of today, which is I asked the question, are you satisfied in the bedroom? So Taki is going to help us figure out, how do we get satisfied or stay satisfied in the bedroom? And we're going to get into that. So Taki, to find satisfaction with your partner. So let's say like me, for example, I'm married, but as an example, what can I do to know if like me and my spouse is compatible, sex compatible?
I would start by suggestions. It's always a suggestion. It's like, not trying to be funny, like when we were growing up and guys used to be like, oh, how would a threesome be? And you know, you'd be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. It's kind of the same way. You have to do that. You have to throw suggestions in there and see what the person thinks. Are they into this? Are they into that? It just depends. Because to be honest, people don't know what they're into it until they're into it. Because if you've never tried anything, or, you know, people say, oh, I'm not into that. You wouldn't know if you've never tried it.
Yeah.
So if you don't try it, you won't know you're into it. A big thing for me is role play, baby. You need to do that. Role play is an excellent way to get you and your partner connected. Role playing.
Role play. So role playing, when I think of role playing, remember that show? I don't know if you ever watched this, The Game.
Yeah.
With Tia and Derwin and Melanie Derwin. Remember the white girl on the show when she used to wear them outfits, you know, looking like a nurse and all that? So you mean role playing, like putting on an outfit, acting like somebody else?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Y'all gotta you take it all the way, girl. You better make this to get your theatrics on. Even if y'all go to a hotel and act like y'all meeting at a bar, get a room. I mean, you can plan it out extensively because sometimes that's the energy that needs to be presented to bring thrill. Some people like BDSM, they're into kink. Some partners do that. Some relationships are into swinging. It just depends on you. I'm not really into that, but I do like the idea of kink with, my husband and things like that. So I'm not really, I really like to try new things, but everybody's not into that. So you kind of make suggestions to see, hey, let's try tying me up in the bedroom real quick. Let's start with handcuffs and see how that works. And then we can move to, to the bondage stuff for real,
Okay.
kind of ease people into it. Some people like anal. I recommend it. But that's just me. But some people have to be eased into it. There are butt plugs and sex toys for that. Because I get a lot of these questions, even on my website. So, it's definitely, something to, role play is the definite thing to start. I think, because some people everybody doesn't like to be themselves all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you kind of like bring yourself into a character for that person, it might bring you out of a shell and kind of put you in a different mindset, and it brings a different energy to you and your partner, and y'all can connect. Yeah, so
true, because you could act like somebody completely different. Like I could be damn Tanya today, put on a red wig and just do something different. Yeah, that's a great way to bring some spice and maybe satisfy somebody. But I had a question. So there's some men who don't like lingerie. They rather the woman be naked. So for someone like that, can the person still role play without the clothes? And okay.
Yeah. You don't have to have clothes. It's all about the scene that you and your partner make. If y'all want to be naked in the forest in the room right at that moment, then y'all can be naked in the forest together. It don't have to be that. It just depends on your scene. Everyone has their own scene. Some people have their guilty pleasures. It just really depends. I don't want to get too deep into it because a lot of things are triggers for people, but there's a lot of different play that people can do. Some of it I recommend, some of it is not up my alley, but it depends on your level of kink and fetish. But role play is a good way to start, that I think, and then you can kind of move into different avenues. There's a lot of things sexually that you can do to connect with your partner, but you have to know your partner and see if your partner is interested in that type of thing.
That's true. And for those of you that haven't tried it, it's something to, just try something that is going to just make it just a little different. Because we can do the same thing, or we can have 3 different moves, right? 3 different positions, 3 different moves. Yeah, we get our off, we get this off, but it's nothing like something different. Just think about eating the same food every day. Like, yeah, it's good, but this could be something better for the moment. And then you could go back to the old stuff and just like make it a rotation. So that's a good way to try to find some satisfaction. Mini Cough, you chosen, said you can be the other woman he wants.
That's why I was laughing, because she said, yeah, definitely true. If y'all have to do every Tuesday, the first Tuesday in the month, every month, this is when we have our day to, switch it up. This is you gonna be John and I'm gonna be Jill, or whoever. That's what it's gonna be. I think incorporating that, scheduling that is really important.
That's true. That's true. Dear Black Wife says, sometimes all the experience can ruin marriage. Unfortunately, some dissatisfaction comes from comparing your current partner to those from your past. Yeah, I know in my other sex stream, I did bring that up because, and that's not just with sex, that's with anything in the relationship, anything. So that's why, it's important to find someone who matches you. It's important to find someone who's okay with your past. Because if not, then you're going to go through issues with, constant, well, why are you comparing me to this person? Well, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Well, it's because John and Jim liked it, or it's because Carla and all these other people liked it. So it's kind of like, find the person who's okay with whatever it is that your past is. And that's the best way to kind of go about that in today's society.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. You mentioned that yesterday. Oh goodness. See, my days are going quick but slow. I've been saying that. This whole week. Very exciting. So let's see. How do you get in the mood? So before you answer that, I had like I said, on one of my other sex live streams, I brought up that a lot of women are not in the mood. It's not a man thing, it's a woman thing. Women say, I'm tired, I have a headache. Most of those are lies, is what I was saying. Those are lies. A lot of people will be lying because they don't feel like it because they're not in the mood. So they try to find excuses. So, what is a good way for a woman that works, even if she's not working outside of the house, but she's like busy, always doing something, and she feels like she's too tired to even get in the mood? What is your suggestion for that?
I'm not gonna lie, as a married woman, we gotta suck it up, buttercup.
Thank you.
We gotta suck it up, buttercup. High five.
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
It's just because if you're not in the mood, if you're in the mood, not in the mood too many times, he will be in the mood to go somewhere else, you know. And it's just the honest truth, you know, because we, especially if you're married, have to keep it going and interesting and be on your P's and Q's a lot more because you get comfortable married. In relationships, you have that opportunity to kind of relive that spark because you have an opportunity to maybe, even if y'all are committed, some other people might be in your ear. Like you said, past relationships have effect and things like that. But you have to kind of like suck it up. Everybody, even men, have to suck it up. You get what I mean? If you want to have a healthy relationship, sometimes they have to make sacrifices, and those may be the sacrifices. But I do want to say something before we say that. Do not spiritually rape yourselves, ladies. And that means if your ass, excuse my language, is not in the mood, and you just not in the mood. But sometimes you have to suck it up, buttercup. So what I mean by that is sometimes we put ourselves in situations like because we feel like that's our husband or our boyfriend, we just have to do it because that's who they are. No. But I will say in certain instances, like sometimes we could be on some, if y'all ever seen The Oval and y'all seen when the wife just won't having sex with her husband over and over again, it can be like that. Sometimes you're just tired, but you don't want to neglect your husband or your partner or your wife at all. You know,
yeah.
So
yeah, I wanted to say something about that. You hit it. When it comes to, you know, you're doing it, but you don't feel like it. See, everybody could sense that energy. No one just think of, okay, men don't do it as much, but I want you ladies to think about this. Just visualize it. Imagine you ask your man, hey, or you touch him, however you guys initiate sex. And he's like, I'm watching football. And you're like, you know, you put your leg on him a little bit more, you know, you might take off a piece of clothing and then you initiate again. He's like, all right, turn over or whatever. And then, you know, the action starts to happen, but you know it's lazy because you know when he's energetic, it's going to be a completely different situation. He'll throw you up, whatever it is that you guys do, versus, you know, like a slow stroke. And you're like, I don't even like slow strokes, you know? You know the difference. And you're not going to like that. You're going to feel like, damn, I just forced him or made him do something. No, he's trying to please you, but you don't want the energy to come off like that. So the mood should be, yes, I want to please my spouse, not I'm forcing myself. This is a chore. Don't look at it like that. You look at it as like I'm doing something good for somebody, including yourself. It's not just, unless you're doing oral, something like that, including yourself, right? Just think of, I'm pleasing my spouse, and you want to make this person happy and satisfied. Just like when you ask your man, hey, can you go buy me one of my favorite desserts? And then he goes to bring it, and then you eat it and you feel good. He don't have to go and get you nothing, but he's going to do it because you asked. Right. Think of it the same way. Think of it the same way, because he has to spend his money to get what you want. You know, you might have to do a little something else to, you know, get what he want. But it ain't money, right? You ain't wasting money. No. Just make it quick. If it's something, you know, if you want to do your mouth, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I just wanted to say that part. But sucking it up as a married woman, yes, because I must attest to that. There's going to be times where you're not going to really want to do something, but not because it's the person. It's just like you're just busy. Like it's nothing personal. So the ones who understand that it's nothing personal, you suck it up Buttercup. That's the term she used. I like that. You do it because your man is gonna suck it up too when you ask him to massage your feet or to do something for you. He's gonna suck it up and be like, all right, and he gonna do it. All right, just give the same energy that you want your man to give you. And if you ain't gonna give him that energy, don't expect him to do shit for you. That's how I look at it. That's good that you said that. Now, let me see. You have any fun facts or sex facts? I know you like to you say fun facts on your videos, right?
Yeah, I was gonna save this for tomorrow, but I can just repost it. I was
No,
actually okay.
no.
You want me to wait? Okay.
You don't have to say it if you don't want to say it here.
No, it's fine.
Good.
I actually did a research on the fact that did you know the clitoris is actually used for sexual pleasure? That's what it was actually made for. Did you know that?
The clitoris was used for sexual pleasure and not for.
That's what I just read today. Just not for
Oh.
like, you know how we use our vagina to procreate and things like that, but your clitoris is actually there to receive sexual pleasure.
I could agree to that because that's how some women have their, climax situation.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of women are actually more clitoral, they need clitoral stimulation more than penetration. A lot of women are like that. And I don't think women want to talk about that, because they don't want to hurt men's feelings. And it's really not about the man. It's just, that's just how some women's vaginas are wired. Like,
Oh. That's so okay. Then that brings this question. So there's women who cannot get orgasms from penetration. They only get it from the clitoris part that we were just talking about. So can a woman that only gets it through oral, like the climax oral, she can only get it through there? Can she ever get it through penetration?
yes.
Yeah.
I was speaking with this to another woman, and she's into the kink community, and she said the same thing. She was more of a clitoral stimulation, but when she was some people need toys, and if you're completely relaxed, it might be more better if she has someone use a toy on her, or maybe if she's herself and she's relaxed enough, it will be easier that way. Because I know as women, like, we when we're having sex, we feel like we have to have sex back. And, we can't just lay there and be like, oh, give it all to me, like you want to. So you got to feel like, oh, I got to give him something back too. But when you use toys or have a partner or someone use it on you, she might get more penetration, orgasm that way better. Because I think that's better for a lot of women because of the fact, I think it's just the whole anxiety and just the fact that, you have to move back with the person instead of actually being relaxed and letting your body simply just take in the pleasure. And that way it can do what it needs to do.
That's another day to get into that because I know that's like a big thing. I think it's like, what was the percentage I seen? Like 48% of women get orgasm through penetration, and the other set doesn't. So it's like, and there's women like
1 in 6 women orgasm. Period.
Huh?
1 in 6 women orgasm.
Oh wow, 1 in 6.
Yeah.
Woo! We need to get those numbers up, ladies. That is terrible. If you're new to the chat, please get the likes up and subscribe to my channel. Get the likes up, you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Like this video and also subscribe to my channel. If you are on Facebook, please hit the follow button. All right. So Dear Black Wife says, check those meds too. Antidepressants are very taxing on the libido. Yes.
Pharmaceuticals, medications, and things like that can put a damper because, especially on women, because we're already hormonal.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those things do put a damper on the libido. And that's why I really recommend natural supplements for the body, because there's a lot of things that they're coming out with now that can help libido. If you want your libido a little higher, try Ling Ling. It's a actual essential oil that actually helps with your sex drive. There's a lot of things so there's a lot of things that work. If you actually got a diffuser or something like that, put that on and get that aromatherapy going. Ling Ling, it's spelled YLANG. Really good for increasing the libido.
Wow, interesting. You guys take the notes. She's here to inform us.
Because all the pharmaceuticals have something in it that goes against anything in your body. They're not really made for your body. Your body is made to be in tune with nature and all that nature has to give back to it. Now, if you're on medication because the doctor prescribed it for something that's really medical, don't take yourself off of those. But I
Right.
would say try to find a supplement that, or a natural supplement that actually isn't, equal to that medication. Just
Yeah.
because, those are taking us out. And a lot of that has to do with why we either have sex too much, have sex less, why we do the things that we do because of this, all these chemicals and things we're putting in the body. Our wombs and our energy centers in our body are not equipped for things like that. We are here to be in tune with the universe and its natural order. And if we can't do those things, and you're not just putting a damper, your libido is not just about sex. Your libido is about your sex drive, about your passions, about your finances, anything that sits in that root chakra. That's where your libido, or your sacral chakra, that's where your libido is pushing all of these things, your emotions. All of that feeds your root chakra and why you do the things you do. If you're passionate, just like us sitting on this podcast, just like you're passionate, your libido is high right now because this is your passion. It's the same thing as, oh yes, nutmeg as well. I appreciate that. But these are the things that keep you going. This is your life force. So it's not just about sex, it's about how you put things into life. If you're depressed, you're not doing anything. Most of the time. You're not doing anything. You're stagnant. You're not moving. But when your libido is high, you're energetic. You're doing something. You're passionate. You're doing whatever it is your spirit and your purpose is in alignment with. So
Wow.
So
yo, she's going off again, y'all. Please put her link into the chat and make sure you guys book her services. She has a link tree, so as many different services that she offers on there. And my mother is listening to Key, and she's saying you're doing a great job, and she gets what you are saying. So yes. Right. So okay. Thanks for being here too. How do I say?
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for all the people's support as well on your live. This is beautiful.
Oh yeah, yes. How do I say this name? Tiki, how do you say this name?
It looks like Jochebed. Jacques.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
I
It just
don't
depends
wanna
on how they pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't
It
want
can
to
occur
say
through
it.
friction too. And
Right.
I like the way you put that it can occur through friction too, because a lot of people need to understand the best things are coming out of friction. Whether it's a confrontation, whether you're having sex, a lot of great things can come out of friction. You were born out of friction. Period.
Wow, you went there. Okay. You went deep there. And Jochebed. Okay. Thanks so much for being here. You are a new face. I appreciate you being a new supporter. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and like the video. She made a few comments, so I want us to touch this. Very interesting. There's pleasure through penetration. However, no climax. It's not a deal breaker. Yeah.
It depends on the person. But I get what she means. It depends on the person, because you have a lot of people who can take it there, and then some people are just used to exactly what she said, and they got that actual climax to the level. And I think it just depends again on anatomically how you're pleased, how your body, and really how comfortable you make yourself when you're getting pleasure.
Yeah.
Again, so she's definitely right on that. For me, we need to be able to be in tune.
Okay.
Tantra is about not just, sex, but being able to connect spiritually and able to climax without actually orgasming. You understand? Yeah. So you have to understand that spiritually you're taking yourself into another level with that person. So yeah, I understand that part.
Yeah. So we're hitting little surfaces, you guys. This type of service deserves to be booked. And me and Taki, we're gonna get together and we're gonna make it happen where we can actually have a platform where we could just be open to talk with the live. Obviously, we can't say what we want to say and show what we want to show.
Right.
So just take the notes, and then one day we will try to have something where we could provide a workshop and get deep into it, because this is an important topic, especially this comment right here, PCOS. That is a big thing in us. I don't know what's happening. Like a lot of women are suffering from that.
Yes, it's very, very, very. There's a lot of herbs you can take. I want to be able to look. I have to look through my phone to see the exact combination there is. But I know a lot of females that have PCOS, especially a lot of my god sisters. Being in the African tradition, a lot of them have. A lot of us have womb issues or issues with the womb. So that is a big thing that we see a lot of PCOS and just how painful it can be. How some people can't have children, things like that. And it could put a damper on your sex life for sure, because for some people it can be painful when you have sex. So yes, I understand that for sure. I don't have it per se, but I definitely do a lot of I do womb steaming as well, or for some people yoni steaming. I call it womb steaming because we're focusing specifically on things that are happening with your womb, like PCOS, endometriosis, things like that, because there are herbs that can really take down the symptoms of these things. So I really focus on that in my practice of vaginal massotherapy. We womb care. It may be beauty, but it's a lot of beauty and medical aesthetics and things about healing. I'm a Reiki womb healer as well, so we do a lot of spiritual work on the womb to release things. Because as women, that comes from a lot of trauma in the womb. To be honest, females, we carry trauma in the womb. And that's where those things, they bring themselves as disease, or what we call disease, such as things like that bring to the body. So yes, it's very possible.
Well, I never heard carrying trauma in a womb.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah, as you carry, and not to say it like this, but you carry your mama's trauma, you carry your grandma's trauma, you carry your great grandma's trauma. You're a woman. You carry every single trauma that your bloodline, as especially your maternal, is that's anything trauma wise, trigger wise, even if it didn't have nothing to do with you. It can present itself in this lifetime, because sometimes your family couldn't pay the karmic debt and you are here to pay the karmic debt. You're doing this podcast, you're doing this live, you're doing all of these things right now because somebody possibly in your lineage didn't have a great marriage. It could have been the total opposite. And that's why you're sitting here preaching about it now, because you're trying to get people educated on, the importance of being married, and how to be with your partner. You could have came, not saying that that's what it was, but you could have came from a long line of women who did not get that opportunity. So you have to be the one to step up. And now I have to do this to show other women, we can be married. We can have great marriages, relationships, dating support, so yeah, it's a big thing, especially when we have things like that presenting through the womb.
Yeah, wow, that's a deeper one. It's a deeper one. But yeah, we'll get into all of that when we do, provide more services and stuff. But you guys definitely click on her link. She has so much to offer. Let's see. What's up, Precious? How are you? Thanks for being here. She says happy Saturday and good evening, ladies. You guys go subscribe to her channel. If you could put the Real Precious links, YouTube link in the channel, please do so they can subscribe to her. All right, let me see. There's so many comments. This is a great topic. It goes to show that the act of sex requires multiple components for it to be mutual pleasurable. If your mind and spirit ain't right, you will not perform well, and there will be a horrendous of connect. That's true. Like when I read that, I think of like, imagine having a baby, right? I remember when I had a baby, my mind was like so different from how I used to be. Like I was so connected to my kid, to the extreme. Not even I wasn't even connected to myself. I was connected to my kid. So if I was connected to myself, I'm not connected to my husband and everything else. So I had to figure out like how to like snap all those, thoughts and moods out. And it was very hard, but you try your hardest to do that. And I know Taki for sure has some answers for that, but we're gonna save it. We're gonna save those things for her services and when we do our workshop, you guys. Auntie Taki is going off. Love this.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jackie Bed. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me as well. I'm the guest and I'm thankful because this is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to do this. I'm glad we are.
For sure. So You can stay backstage because I'm going to end this live in a few, but stay backstage. We have to talk, but you guys definitely, if you guys could put Taki's link in the chat again, just to repeat it, to make sure if anyone who's new cannot get to the previous chat, that they could get it now, and they could definitely book her services. And look out more. I will be having her again, and look out for a workshop we'll be having. All right, Taki, they will see you next time.
Yes, thank you so much. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. You can please check my Instagram and things like that. I was really thankful for you to have me up here. And, thank you again. I look forward to working more in the future and collabing.
For sure. All right, girl. Stay in the back. Yes, that was amazing. Now, y'all know I was supposed to have this guy come on from TikTok and explain his thoughts on relationships and everything, but he is explaining that today is not today, but this weekend is his birthday weekend. I think he's turning up. He's a young guy. So he's turning up and he's like, I'm not trying to, be on a live right now, which that's perfectly fine. So let me see. I wanted to get into a rundown of today's conversation. Before you guys leave, if you haven't taken notes, I want to make sure that you have this down. So the topic is, can you find satisfaction into the bedroom? And the answer is yes. The things that you can do, number one is sex in the morning, sex at night, possibly do 2 times a day. Women connect to your divine feminine energy. Okay, you guys have to do that. Understand your body, understand what pleases you, and then your man can do the same. Have that human connection with your spouse. Don't just have sex. Please don't just do that. Make sure that you're definitely connected. Learn how to please yourself, just like men. They've been learning how to please themselves from a long time ago, but us women, we haven't been doing the same. I'm not saying everybody, but some women have not been doing that. So if it's something new for you, get into it. Try new things, you guys. Don't get set on one type of position or one type of way to do things. Understand that we have a body that is able to be pleased in all type of directions, different type of ways. So definitely tap into that. Also, get into role playing. If you haven't done that, role playing is a great way to spice up the things in the bedroom. It could be with the lingerie, wearing the wigs, wearing the heels, or just being, completely nude and getting into that. Also make sure that you understand that sometimes things are going to be a sacrifice. You're not going to be in the mood every time, but do not sex deprive your partner. Do not do that. That is a bad way to start or end anything. You don't want to practice sex depriving somebody. Think if someone was to deprive you of something that you want. You don't want that, right? So let's be honest with ourselves. And let's just be honest with our partner. If you're not satisfied, say something. How to initiate it is no better way to say it than to say it. Just be respectful. Be respectful. Get your thoughts together before you say anything. Say it to yourself. Ask yourself, does this sound right? Ask yourself, would I receive it the same? Would I receive it positively? Ask yourself, wow, does this make sense? And that is for anything that you request, not just sex. That's with anything. Ask yourself first, say it out loud. Make sure the energy that you're transferring is not negative. Make sure that the tone of voice is a lower tone as a female. Be feminine. Let's not be so aggressive. Let's not pop these attitudes. We got to keep our attitudes in line. Make sure that we're happy, because those things can make our moods go down. If we're always mad and pissed off, having attitudes because something's not going our way. These are the things that destroys our mood. So just be in a good mood all day. Try to. I'm not saying every day. I understand this life, but try to. So you heard it from us married women on the panel. We're going to give it to you real and raw here. This is Sexy Saturdays. I'm going to try to keep this Sexy Saturdays up. The Real Precious says, yes, women definitely need to practice talk before hitting him with it. Talk in the mirror like Issa Rae. I'm serious though. You hear me? Like, that's real. Make sure you do that. It's important. But as I always say, please keep your days productive. You could play later, you guys. Keep your days productive, play later. If you have a goal, go for it. If your goal isn't met, then you shouldn't be playing as much. Like, I have things I want to do, but I also want to have fun. Like, I have shows that I want to watch that's just sitting there, and I haven't even watched a damn thing. And I think it's been 2 weeks. I do not the same things every day, but I'm very productive through my day. You get a lot more accomplished. You want to feel accomplished. So make sure that you're playing less, being more productive. I'm not saying just be a robot working, but understand your goals are important so you can play all day later. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to end it with that. I will not have a song to end this live today, but I do want you guys to make sure that you go to my website and book my services there if you want to get more into depth. And also, it was nice seeing you guys again. Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for participating. Subscribe and hit the like button. Have a good day, you guys.